Alright, we're back. We're going to take a look now at the S line and the T line, the next 10 syllables in the Japanese Hiragana syllabary. So this time we'll be examining again the S line here, the syllables sa, shi, su, se, so, and the T line, which includes ta, chi, tsu, te, to. Let's get to it. Alright, our first syllable here is the SA combination, romanized as SA, pronounced sa. Now a quick note here, you'll notice that the handwritten version versus the printed version is a bit different. This stroke down here is not a complete stroke, there's a gap here, whereas on the printed version it's full. When you handwrite it, go with this version. There are very few Japanese people that will write them like this, so this is the version to strive for as you write. Okay, how do we write this character? Alright, our first stroke here begins in the upper left quadrant and is angling up and to the right. Second stroke comes down, about like this, up, and then the third stroke like so. Now, arguably this is a two-stroke character, but again, because we are making a gap here, we're going to consider this blue stroke down here the third stroke. So once again, that's 1, 2, and 3. Alright, our next syllable is the S and I combination. Now you would expect this to be C. Unfortunately though, there is no C sound in Japanese. What we do is romanize this as S-H-I, shi, shi. To write shi, very simply, we'll start in the upper left-hand quadrant, just left of the center line, come down, and a little hook upwards. So that is pronounced shi, shi. Our next character is the SU combination. SU, of course, that gives us the sound su, su. To write this one, starting in the upper left-hand quadrant, going across. Second stroke is a continuous one, starts just to the right of the center line, comes down, nice curvy loop. There's su, su. Next is the SE combination. SE, romanized thusly, pronounced se, se. First stroke, across like so, above the center line. Second stroke down, and little hook on the bottom is considered good form, although not entirely necessary. And then the final stroke comes down and over. Set, set. Our final syllable in the S line is the SO combination, so we'll romanize that as S-O. Also note that this is a single stroke hiragana. So, how do we write this one? Well, first, starting up here, we'll go with what looks like a Z. Z. And then we're going to make like so, like a C down below. Z and C, it's sort of a combination of the two. So once again, make your Z, and then your C. Now, there's an alternate version of this one you'll see sometimes in handwriting. Let me show you how that one looks. So, in this alternate version, the first stroke is in the upper left-hand quadrant, just sort of simply a line there. And then you're going to make what's left of the Z and C form that we had, which is what's left of the Z and then the C there, right? So this is also a acceptable alternate version. You're free, of course, to memorize and write whichever you prefer. Both are valid and both are used in modern Japanese. Alright, let's try a little writing practice, listening practice as well. I'll speak a Japanese word. Again, write down just on a scratch piece of paper that's nearby at hand the word you hear me say. 2 syllables. Here's the word. Su, shi, su, shi, su, shi. How'd you do? the word I just gave you, of course, sushi. Sushi. Let's try one more. This one has 2 syllables. The word is sa ke. Sa ke. Sake. Sake. And here's the answer. Sa ke. That's our S-A and K-E combination. Sushi and sake. Sounds pretty good about now. All right, ready for some listening and reading practice this time? Once again, I'll say a Japanese word for you, and you'll pick it from a list that'll pop up on the left-hand side of your screen, again, assuming you're viewing this through the Educanon website. Here goes. This one is 3 syllables. Here's the word. Su, I, ka. Su, I, ka. Suika. Suika. Here's your next word. This is 3 syllables. The word is se, ka, I. Se, ka, I. Sekai. Sekai. All right, next up is the T line. This first syllable is the T-A combination. We'll romanize this as ta, ta. Also, before we look at how to write this, notice that it seems to include a sort of miniature version of a syllable we saw in the K line, ko. So be careful not to mix these two up. Now, to write this one, first stroke starts in the upper left-hand quadrant, like so. Second stroke comes down at a bit of an angle, like so. And third and fourth strokes, 3 here and fourth stroke there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Ta, ta. Next syllable in the line is, well, you would expect it to be the T-I combination. T-I. However, there's no such sound in Japanese. What we're looking at here is actually a combination of C-H-I. So we'll pronounce this one as chi. Chi. To write chi, you'll start in the upper left-hand quadrant. Second stroke comes down, a little bit of an angle away, and just a little line there. Chi. The red stroke there looks a bit like a 5, yeah? All right, our next syllable here, the T and U combination. You would expect this to be romanized as T and U. However, no, there's no such sound in Japanese. So what are we looking at then? Well, this is actually romanized as T, S, U, and is pronounced tsu, tsu. This is the first syllable in the word tsunami, a word you've all probably heard after the horrendous earthquake and tidal wave in 2011 in Japan. This one's pretty basic as far as writing goes. Upper left-hand quadrant and down. Tsu, tsu. Our next T-line syllable is the T and E combination. No tricks here. This one's really just written romanized as T-E. Pronounced te, te. This is also a single stroke. Starting again in the upper left quadrant, over, and then looping back around. Te, te. And the final syllable in the T line is the T-O combination, romanized as T-O, pronounced to, to. To write to, we'll start again, upper left-hand quadrant, come down to about here. And then upper right-hand quadrant, coming here and looping around. To. To. Okay, let's try a little listening comprehension / writing practice. Again, I'll speak a word for you, slowly in Japanese. Write down on a scratch piece of paper what you hear me say. Here's the word. It's 3 syllables long. Ta, ka, I. Ta, ka, I. Takai, takai. How'd you do? Ta, ka, I. Takai, takai. Let's try another. This next word is 4 syllables long and contains long vowel sounds. Let's see how you do with this one. The word is chi, I, sa, I. Chi, I, sa, I. Chisai, chisai. How'd you do? This one might have been a little tricky. Chi, I, sa, I. Chisai, chisai, chisai. And finally, we'll do a listening exercise here. I'll speak another Japanese word for you. You'll select it from a list that pops up on the left-hand side, once again, assuming you're accessing this through Edmodo's website. Here we go. The word is 2 syllables. Ta, ko. Ta, ko. Tako, tako. Here's your next word. This is 3 syllables long. The word is a, tsu, I. A, tsu, I. Atsui, atsui.